Here we go again. Here we go again. I'm so tired of talking about this. It's not even funny, but it has to be talked about. But yes, Denpasoft apparently is the next casualty to Mastercard, Visa, the banks telling people what they're allowed to sell. The banks saying you're not allowed to sell fictitious characters, but don't worry, process the payments for actual CP over here. The banks that just want to turn a blind eye to everything that is real and very, very inappropriate, but will tell people what they're allowed to draw. Fictitious characters, not allowed to draw that stuff. But yes, like I said, Denpasoft is the next casualty to this whole ordeal where the banks are basically saying, if you don't take these products down from your website, we will basically shut down your account. We will shut down your bank account. That is extremely concerning. That is terrifying to me, and it still remains terrifying to me. And just to get, again, out there, because I know there's some people that are going to say, this is a good thing, how dare you, so you support this, right? No, that's not what I say. My stance has always been, I don't think you should restrict anything from being drawn. I think that as long as it is fictitious, it does not harm real people, it should be allowed to be drawn. Not because I consume that. Let's make that perfectly clear. Not that I want to consume that or that I find that a great thing. It's more the fact that I think this is a nasty slope to go down. The moment you give up on this, you give up on everything. It starts from here, and then over time they say this isn't allowed either. This isn't allowed either. This isn't allowed either. That's too much skin. But it's a character that's a 35-year-old. It's too much. It's showing too much skin. Take that down. We can't have that stuff on the website. Take it down. You can't sell it. That's why I don't like this. I don't like the slippery slope it goes down. Because like I've said before, I don't want to be the one that is okay with the idea that somebody is constantly looking over artists' shoulders and saying, yep, you know, that looks like they're probably underage. No, it's not underage. It's a fake character. I'm drawing this character. They're just a little petite. No, that's too young. What's the age of a fake character? That has always been my stance. The moment you open that door, the moment you crack it open, it's done. The freedom of art and everything is destroyed. That's why I'm against this. That's why I hate this stuff. I don't want this to start. And it's already started, and it's going to keep going. And now, again, like I said, they're after Denpasoft. Now, somebody did show me yesterday, somebody added me about this whole situation with the website Tora no Ana. And that site has basically brought down several works as well. This artist basically said I just got done buying a whole bunch of these things again, these reprints, and now I have nowhere to sell it. They literally sent him, now here's the concerning part. They literally sent him an email, and I'm not going to say this out loud because I'm not sure if YouTube picks it up, but you can see it on the screen right here. It starts with C. They're claiming it's that. Now, this has been a concern for me the longest time because my argument against the idea of censoring a lot of the sale of a lot of these products is that it can't be what people claim that the reason that Mastercard and Visa is doing this, or at least one person has kind of, pointed my direction, which I appreciate that because I think it is important to kind of consider, is that Visa, Mastercard, it was Mastercard, one of the two of them got under a nasty legal battle, and I think it's still going, because they were processing payments on an adult website that was essentially selling underage stuff. And so essentially the lawsuit is that they were facilitating that sale and thus they should be in trouble for it, which I honestly believe is stupid. There should be no reason why the payment processing service should be held liable for a website having randomly some user put it on there and sold it. That just seems ridiculous to me. But still, the claim was that that was causing them to be so scared about anything in the future. And that's why they're stopping a lot of the sale of things that are drawn in that way as well. My argument against that is that with every single region, there is some, well, at least Japan and the United States, I haven't looked anywhere else. There's laws in place to protect this kind of stuff. Laws in place, even in the United States. Like I said with my whole video with Vice. With my video with there, I was talking about the fact there is laws in place that say if it's indistinguishable from the real thing, things like sculptures, paintings, stuff like that, it does not, you can't be prosecuted for that. It's not. It's a separation there. There's laws protecting art. And if it's not the real thing, you're fine. This right here, this is an email from this Japanese service, is claiming that it's under this service, right, under this classification. It's already going down that road. Even that protection is no longer there. This whole act here is being applied to art, to drawn stuff. Now, I don't know what he was selling. I'm assuming based on his Twitter feed, it's probably really bad. I'm not going to excuse it. It's probably really, really bad. But again, my point is, allow it to be there because I don't want that door opened. I won't consume it, and many people won't, and we can all look at it and say that's horrible. But don't open that door, because where does it stop? It will eventually get to the point where anything explicit, no matter what age, everything explicit will be taken down. All ecchi will be removed. Anything expressive in any sort of physical contact between two individuals in a show, say like two 25-year-olds have a romantic relationship in an anime, it won't be allowed. You can't kiss. It's too much. Yes, I'm being extremely extreme right here, but it all starts from one place. It all starts from somewhere. But anyways, going back to Denpa, let's actually read what they said. I'm not supposed to get into my rant yet. I've already gotten into my rant. Anyways, Denpasoft Chris said, well, this is concerning. Receiving word of a few minutes ago that we are forced to remove a large number of our titles from Denpasoft. Extremely disappointing, but considering what happened with DL's site earlier this year, not entirely surprising. We'll have a write-up soon. The official statement right here. Let's go to it. Sorry, flashbang. I should have gave a warning beforehand. Denpasoft, dark mode. Who the hell has a light mode anymore? Come on, Denpasoft. What are we like? Anyways, official statement regarding removal of products from site. This notice is to inform everyone that a large number of digital titles have been removed from Denpasoft and are currently unavailable for sale. Initially, we were contacted by our bank. There it is. I don't usually like to cover these things until I see that there's a bank involved. That's like even this other situation over here. It doesn't specifically say. It just says a classification. That's why I'm bringing it up. Considering the situation we are put in, we have complied and requested out of an overabundance of caution. So basically, they're saying they got contacted by the bank, and in order to essentially prevent themselves from being shut down. I seen somebody made a comment against them saying, how dare you? You're so concerned about the banks, and yet you're going to remove the downloads. That seems pretty shady. Because it's either that or they shut down. So either way, you're not going to get your downloads. This is a situation where they're kind of stuck. And it seems like they're obviously going to be trying to figure out some way of getting the product to people in the end. But right now, they have to close the door for the time being. I'm certain they're probably frantically looking for some way to get around this because this is their service. This is their content doesn't. In order for Denpasoft, in a lot of regards, based on what I've at least looked into their products, it seems like a lot of their sales comes from things that will, in the future, get shut down as well. So they're probably, I would expect Denpasoft is probably looking for ways around this, but they don't have anything right now. So you have to kind of shut it down for now. Anyways, the affected titles, I'm not going to read all these titles. You can see the titles. Some of these, I'm not sure if YouTube will get mad at me for saying. During this time, users who have already purchased the above titles will not be able to download them either. That is a big unfortunate right there. Unfortunately, there is no timetable as to when these issues will be resolved. In addition, there may be some other titles that may get removed, but we will try to inform everyone should that situation happen. I think this is a good sign right here, and they probably should have made it a lot more clear. Download your stuff right now. If you have anything on Denpasoft, I was actually surprised. I think I got Nekopata from this site, so I was actually surprised that wasn't listed. That's probably going to be a future one. Anyways, in addition, there may be some other titles that may get removed, but blah, blah, blah. We apologize for the inconvenience this will likely cause our users, and we'll do anything we can to find a solution for this matter, or to this matter. Should you have any questions, do not hesitate to send out a ticket. And they've said that several times. If you have an issue with this, let them know. They're open ears. Anyways, going back to Denpasoft, Chris says, and before anyone suggests it, no, crypto is not a solution either. They do have crypto stuff on their site. I think this whole point here is that it's not like they can't just rely strictly on that. But yeah, I do get the point there. I think the issue is that I think some people are claiming that if you just do only crypto, it wouldn't work for them. I think what would be applying here is that most of our sales go through Mastercard and Visa. We barely do anything that's crypto. But additionally, you can't just go strictly crypto. Like he says, you can find many random ways to take a payment. But if the banks can just simply shut down your account, where exactly do these payments go? It's not like you can tell people to send us payments by cash. That's actually not a bad idea. That's actually not a bad idea. Just do a mail-in cash service. I think that there's a law against that, though. I legit think there's a law against that because at some point I think I heard about that you technically can't send large currencies through the mail system, and I was laughing about it because back in the day, my grandpa used to always send us money for our birthday. Like every birthday, we get a card, and it's got a 5 or 10 or 20 in there. So it's kind of like technically you guess you can't a check. I guess you could do check, but again, the point here is these banks know what Denpasoft is selling. I think the whole point here, and that's the whole thing with the crypto, the banks know what they're selling. And they can't just do, like somebody said here, you could just go strictly just a crypto wallet. Oh, go in your, oh yeah, okay, anyways. Yeah, technically you could say, okay, from now on, everything on the Denpasoft store is sold through Bitcoin. You have to buy it with cryptocurrency. Now, what happens there, again, is it's in a wallet, but then they need that money to do other things. The money they get by selling their product goes into their functioning. They have to pay employees and whatnot. How are they going to pay employees? They're not going to pay employees with crypto. They're going to pay employees with money. How do they get that money to them? How do they write a check to them? They then have to take that cryptocurrency and they have to go through a transaction to put it in their bank. And guess what? The banks shut them down. They have no bank to go to because the banks literally know what they're selling, and they know that money is dirty money, and they shut down their bank account. This is the bank contacting them directly and saying, oh, by the way, your account is on our bank and you sell this stuff. Take that. They're saying literally, take that stuff off your website or we will shut down your account. They're holding their bank account hostage. This isn't transactions. This is holding their bank account hostage. Again, like I said, that is terrifying. And no, putting aside what they're selling, the ability for a bank to say, I will shut down your account if you do not remove what you're selling at your store. That's terrifying. Going to a random shop on the street, driving up, parking your car and saying, stop selling that plush in the window or I will shut down your account. It is terrifying, and something needs to be done. I said this with the last situation with this whole thing. I really do feel like the only resolution here, and I don't know if it's a resolution anymore because like right here, like I said, they're marking this stuff now. They're marking this stuff, and it's terrifying. Now, this could be what they have been told. I'm assuming what happened is possibly, because they have not strictly said, this situation has not said a bank has said anything. What they're saying here, I believe, as much as I dug, essentially what they're saying here is that Torah, they contacted them and said this. There's a good chance that the banks contacted them and said that this is what this is. This is the classification for what you're selling there. And then the actual website contacted this artist and said, it's that. They just passed on the message. By the way, what I said last time about the situation and what I think these companies need to do, and I think Denpasoft, I don't know how many connections they have in Japan or whatever, but something, I thought that Nico Nico would be the tipping point. Nico Nico honestly was a tipping point. I think all these companies, all these artists, all these people need to get with companies like Nico Nico and say, enough is enough. We need to have an alternate solution. We have to put it, somebody said this and I really truly agree. They need to get with Japanese government. And yes, I agree with some people saying, look, I just don't see there being a lot of politicians and whatnot that are willing to die on this hill. Like, who is going to go to the Diet and literally go up there onto the stage and say, we need to protect what's on the screen right here, and it's just nothing but really inappropriate stuff. Nobody's going to get up there and claim this. But it's still art. And like I said, my argument is not so much they get on the stage and they say that, let's protect this art, but much so the idea that let's protect the future of our art. Because the idea, like I said earlier, is that door has been opened and it's going to keep on opening to the point where these banks are going to censor everything. It's the concept that it never stops there. It keeps going. They will keep pushing their morals. They will keep pushing everything. And it's going to go right into that whole DEI stuff. I hate bringing up DEI stuff, but I am so sick of hearing about it, but it's relevant. The idea that anything that does not fit this mold needs to be removed. If you don't have enough inclusion, you need to be removed. And that's where it's going to go. That's where it's literally going to go. And thus, these companies need to get together And I would assume with how much it's impacting a lot of stuff in Japan, they should get together and say, we basically have a foreign entity, a foreign group that is telling us what we can sell in our own country. It's happening in Japan. This isn't just overseas stuff. It's happening in Japan. Somebody's affecting the markets, and they need to get together and say, I don't care what's being affected. I care about the fact that a foreign entity is affecting our sales, is affecting our distribution, our marketing, our companies. That's not right. And either that or we need an alternative to Visa, Mastercard, which I know is a very difficult thing, but especially since because I've seen some people will say things like, look, we just need you need to go to local banks. Somebody was telling Denpasoft that. You need to go to local banks. A lot of local banks are funding or funneling through Visa, Mastercard. All they have to do is get a call from Visa, Mastercard, and it's shut down. It's just not viable. There's a lot of things that are happening here. Even if you get a local bank and you're bringing transactions in, whoopie-de-doo. But still, when somebody does a transaction, guess what bank they're using? Visa, Mastercard. It's almost like a thing where everybody has to transition into something that's outside of that, and it's a very difficult thing to do. But anyways, yeah, that's what's going on with Denpasoft. Remember, many years ago, we were moved from Shopify, then we moved to our self-hosting. Even though we're self-hosted, we are still forced to remove products for sale because of content. More details can be found in the blog post below. This is scary. Like I said, I don't partake in this stuff. I'm not seeking it out. Would I be mad if it was gone? No. My whole thing is that I don't like where this goes. I've always been that stance. I don't like where this goes. Eventually, it's going to come for everything else. Eventually, everything's going to get sanitized. Everything's going to get cleaned up. And it all started from the place that I think they know it works the best. These people believe the best way to stop what they don't like is go for their wallet. They went right for the throat. And again, it's not going to stop here. It is not going to stop here. It's going to take everything out. So sad reality of our world. And I think Japan is in a place where I think they can stop this. And I think like I said, it's just going to take. I sadly think it's going to go to a realm where something it's going to have to creep out of this realm, because right now people can argue this like, look, we don't need this. What this is no loss. Nobody cares about this. Any sane person does not want this to be in our world. So everybody's going to support this. But then eventually it starts to creep out of that realm. I think when it creeps out of that category, young age characters type of stuff, once it creeps out of there, I think that's going to be the point where finally, hopefully Japan wakes up and goes, whoa, you're messing with our markets. Get the hell out of our markets. Something's got to be done. And like I said, I think the only way it's going to fix it, it's not going to be outrage on the internet. And people screaming and hollering is not going to change anything. This is going to be governmental. This has to be governmental. I think that's when this is going to finally stop. And it's going to be very interesting when it finally happens. And like I said, I thought with Nico Nico it was going to be the breaking point. I really did. Because Nico Nico, I couldn't find exactly what was causing that one. But that was an aspect of just adult content. Not necessarily, I don't think it was anything to do with young or anything like that. And I thought that was going to be the breaking point, because Nico Nico's huge. That's basically their YouTube. It's not as big as YouTube, obviously, nowhere near, but it is it's kind of like their YouTube. And I figured that would be that breaking point. But anyways, that's my comments about this ongoing situation that I just absolutely am tired of talking about. And we'll see where it goes. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, hit that like button down below, comment. Let me know what you think of the situation. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe before you leave. If you like this content and you want to support this content more, I have a Patreon link, tips link, so thanks for membership down below. Greatly appreciate it. It does. And until next time, y'all take care.